Welcome to Inspiration from the East. If you love authentic flavors and creative cooking, subscribe, share, and like for more delicious inspiration. Welcome back. Today, we're ditching greasy takeout and making 5 authentic Chinese dishes you can actually master at home. No bland shortcuts, just real restaurant-quality flavor simplified for any skill level. We'll build layers of taste and texture: Kung Pao Chicken, Mapo Tofu, melt-in-your-mouth beef and broccoli, perfect egg fried rice, and balanced sweet and sour pork. Ready to impress yourself and everyone else? Good. Pay attention, follow my lead, and let's get this kitchen fired up. Hit subscribe if you're serious about cooking better. Let's go. All right, let's dive into the real deal. We're making authentic Kung Pao Chicken today, the kind that explodes with flavor and leaves you wanting more. Forget everything you think you know about this dish, because we're about to elevate it to a whole new level. This isn't just dinner, it's a culinary adventure. We're talking absolutely none of that gloopy takeaway nonsense. You know the stuff. Overly sweet, questionably colored, and swimming in a sauce that tastes more like corn syrup than anything remotely Chinese. We're banishing that from our kitchens forever. This is about fresh ingredients, vibrant flavors, and a dish that respects its origins. The foundation of any great Kung Pao chicken is, of course, the chicken itself. We're going to use boneless, skinless chicken thigh because it stays juicy and tender even at high heat. Cut it into bite-sized pieces, about an inch or so, ensuring they cook evenly and are easy to eat. Now for the marinade, the first layer of flavor, we'll start with a generous splash of soy sauce. This adds saltiness, umami, and helps to tenderize the chicken. Don't be shy, let it really soak in. Next up, Shaoxing wine, a Chinese rice wine that's a staple in many Asian dishes. It adds a depth of flavor that's hard to replicate. If you can't find Shaoxing wine, dry sherry can be used as a substitute, but try to get the real deal if you can. And finally, a touch of cornstarch. This will create a light coating on the chicken, helping it to sear beautifully in the wok and thicken the sauce later on. Let this marinate for at least 15 minutes, or even longer if you have the time. The longer it marinates, the more flavorful and tender the chicken will be. While the chicken is marinating, let's prep your aromatics, the flavor powerhouses that will take this dish to the next level. Freshness is key here, so make sure your ingredients are top-notch. First, garlic. And lots of it. Mince it finely, or even better, use a garlic press to release all those pungent oils. Then ginger. Peel it and slice it thinly, then julienne it into matchsticks. Ginger adds a warm, spicy note that complements the other flavors perfectly. Don't forget the spring onion whites. Chop them finely. They'll add a delicate oniony flavor that's essential to the dish. Now, for the heat. We're using dried red chilies. The amount you use depends on your spice preference, so adjust accordingly. Remember, you can always add more, but you can't take it away. And the secret ingredient, Sichuan peppercorns. These aren't just spicy, they have a unique numbing quality that's incredibly addictive. To unlock their full potential, toast the peppercorns in a dry pan over medium heat for a few minutes until they become fragrant and slightly smoky. This will maximize their aroma and flavor. With the aromatics prepped, it's time to mix your sauce. The heart and soul of Kung Pao Chicken. This is where all the magic happens, so pay close attention. We're starting with black vinegar, also known as Qingqiang vinegar. This adds a tangy, slightly sweet flavor that balances the other ingredients perfectly. Next, soy sauce. Use light soy sauce for this, as it has a brighter, saltier flavor than dark soy sauce. A touch of sugar to balance the acidity and add a hint of sweetness. And finally, a cornstarch slurry. This will help to thicken the sauce and give it that glossy, irresistible sheen. Now, the key to authentic Kung Pao chicken is a smoking hot wok. Get it ripping hot before you add any oil. This is crucial for achieving that signature wok hei, or breath of the wok, which is that slightly smoky, charred flavor that's so characteristic of Chinese stir-fries. Once the wok is hot, add a little oil and sear the chicken in batches. Don't overcrowd the wok or the chicken will steam instead of sear. You want it to be nicely browned and slightly crispy. Once the chicken is seared, remove it from the wok and set aside. Give the wok a quick wipe to remove any excess oil or debris, then add a little more oil. Now, fry the chilies and peppercorns until fragrant, being careful not to burn them. This will infuse the oil with their flavor and aroma. Toss in the garlic, ginger, and spring onion whites and stir fry for a few seconds until fragrant. Return the chicken to the wok and toss to combine with the aromatics. Now for the grand finale, Pour the sauce around the wok's edge, allowing it to sizzle and caramelize slightly. Let it bubble and thicken, coating the chicken in a glossy, flavorful glaze. Finish with a generous handful of roasted peanuts for that essential crunch and nutty flavor. And finally, a sprinkle of fresh spring onion tops for a pop of color and freshness. Serve immediately with steamed rice, the perfect accompaniment to soak up all that delicious sauce. Hot, fresh, and vibrant. That's proper Kung Pao chicken, not a bloody peanut puzzle. Simple, bold, and absolutely addictive. Now, get cooking and experience the magic of real Kung Pao chicken for yourself. You won't regret it. Next, Mapo Tofu, a fiery, numbing classic from Sichuan. Use silken tofu cut into cubes and soak in hot salted water to season and firm it up. The soul. Dubanjiang, a fermented bean and chili paste. Don't skip it. Fry dubanjiang in oil until the oil turns red and fragrant. Add minced beef or pork, fermented black beans, and garlic. Pour in stock, season lightly with soy, and simmer. Gently add tofu, push it around to coat in sauce. Don't stir hard. Thicken with a cornstarch slurry until glossy. Finish with sesame oil and a generous sprinkle of freshly ground Sichuan peppercorns. Garnish with spring onions. Serve piping hot over rice. It's bold, complex, and unforgettable. Respect the tofu. Beef and broccoli, when it's done right, it's not just a meal, it's an experience. It's a symphony of flavors and textures, a testament to the power of simple ingredients elevated by technique. Too often, we settle for versions that are, frankly, disappointing. Tough, chewy beef, limp, lifeless broccoli, swimming in a gloppy, overly sweet sauce. But it doesn't have to be that way. The key to unlocking truly exceptional beef and broccoli lies in understanding and mastering a few fundamental techniques. The first secret? The cut, slice flank or sirloin thinly against the grain. This seemingly simple step is crucial. Cutting against the grain shortens the muscle fibers, making the beef incredibly tender. If you cut with the grain, you'll end up with long, tough strands that are difficult to chew. Aim for slices that are about 1/8 inch thick. Next comes the magic of velveting. This is a classic Chinese technique that transforms ordinary beef into something extraordinary. Velveting is all about creating a protective coating around the meat, which helps it retain moisture and stay incredibly tender during cooking. We're going to velvet with soy sauce. And soy sauce not only adds flavor, but also helps to tenderize the meat. We'll also use Shaoxing wine, a staple in Chinese cooking. It adds a depth of flavor and aroma that's simply irreplaceable. If you can't find Shaoxing wine, dry sherry can be used as a substitute, but try to get the real thing if you can. A dash of white pepper adds a subtle heat and complexity. White pepper has a more delicate flavor than black pepper, making it perfect for this dish. Cornstarch is the key to creating that velvety texture. It coats the beef, protecting it from the intense heat of the wok and helping it to stay moist and tender. And finally, a pinch of baking soda. Baking soda helps to further tenderize the beef by raising its pH level. Don't worry, you won't taste it. Now, let all those flavors meld together. Marinate for at least 20 minutes or even longer for maximum tenderness and flavor. The longer it marinates, the more flavorful and tender the beef will become. Next, let's talk broccoli. Blanch broccoli in salted oiled water. The salt seasons the broccoli from the inside out, while the oil helps to retain its vibrant green color. Cook it just enough to tenderize it, but not so much that it becomes mushy. Aim for about 90 seconds. Immediately transfer the broccoli to an ice water bath to stop the cooking process. This is crucial for preserving its bright green color and crisp texture. The result? Vibrant, crisp, tender florets that are a delight to eat. Now let's create the sauce that will bring everything together. Mix a simple sauce, your stock. Chicken or beef stock will work, depending on your preference. Add oyster sauce. Oyster sauce adds a rich, savory umami flavor that's essential to this dish. Soy sauce. Soy sauce adds saltiness and depth of flavor. Sugar. A touch of sugar balances the savory flavors and adds a hint of sweetness. And sesame oil. Sesame oil adds a nutty aroma and flavor that's simply irresistible. Now for the main event, the stir fry. Wok on high heat. A screaming hot wok is essential for achieving that signature wok hey, the slightly smoky, charred flavor that's characteristic of authentic Chinese stir fries. Sear beef in a single layer. Don't overcrowd the wok or the beef will steam instead of sear. Work in batches if necessary. Once the beef is nicely seared, then set aside. Wipe wok clean to remove any browned bits. Then add a fresh swirl of oil. Fry garlic and ginger until fragrant, releasing their aromatic oils into the wok. Then toss in broccoli, coating it in the flavorful garlic and ginger oil. Pour in sauce, let it bubble and thicken slightly, creating a luscious coating for the vegetables. Then return beef to the wok, nestling it amongst the broccoli and sauce. Toss everything together to coat, ensuring that every piece of beef and broccoli is glistening with sauce. If needed, thicken with a touch of cornstarch slurry to achieve your desired consistency. Serve immediately over rice, allowing the sauce to soak into every grain. Tender beef, melt in your mouth perfection. Bright broccoli, bursting with freshness. Savory sauce, a symphony of flavors that dance on your tongue. No more chewy meat or sad veg. This is a transformation. This is how it's meant to be. Authentic, flavorful, and satisfying. Quick, simple, using ingredients you can easily find, and leagues above takeout. You'll never settle for mediocre beef and broccoli again. Try it and taste the difference. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to create restaurant-quality beef and broccoli in your own kitchen. Perfection, a culinary masterpiece, ready in minutes. Egg, fried rice, the classic most people butcher. Rule 1, use day-old, cold rice, no exceptions. Break up the rice before cooking so every grain is separate. Prep simple add-ins, diced veg, leftover meat, shrimp, don't overload it. Beat eggs with salt, scramble quickly in a hot wok, then set aside, wipe wok. Add oil, fry garlic, and spring onion whites for aroma. Add rice press and toss to toast and heat through. Push rice aside, pour soy sauce into the well, let it sizzle, then mix through. Add your extras, toss, then return eggs. Finish with sesame oil, white pepper, and spring onion greens. Every grain should be fluffy and distinct. This is how you honor leftovers, simple, sublime, never soggy. Make it right, every time. The king of quick meals. Sweet and sour pork, a dish that often gets a bad rap, conjuring images of gloppy sauces and questionable ingredients. But let's reclaim this classic, elevate it to something truly special, and show everyone what sweet and sour pork can really be. We're not talking about the fluorescent, overly sweet takeout version. We're aiming for a dish with balance, depth, and incredible flavor. The key starts with quality ingredients. Forget the mystery meat. Use pork shoulder, cut into cubes, about an inch or so in size. Pork shoulder has the perfect amount of fat to render down and keep the pork tender and juicy during the frying process. Now, let's build some flavor. We'll marinate the pork to infuse it with savory notes. Start with a generous splash of soy, followed by a touch of Shaoxing wine. This Chinese cooking wine adds a depth of flavor that's hard to replicate. If you don't have Shaoxing wine on hand, you can substitute with dry sherry, but try to find the real deal for the most authentic taste. Season simply with salt, just a pinch to enhance the other flavors, and a dash of white pepper. White pepper has a more delicate, earthy flavor than black pepper, which works perfectly in this dish. Mix everything together well, ensuring that all the pork pieces are evenly coated in the marinade. Then cover the bowl and let it marinate in the refrigerator for at least 20 minutes. This allows the flavors to penetrate the pork, resulting in a more flavorful and tender final product. The longer you marinate, the better. Now for the secret to that irresistible crispiness, double fry for crispiness. This technique ensures that the pork is cooked through and develops a beautifully golden and crunchy exterior. Before frying, we need to coat the pork. First, dredge in cornstarch, making sure each piece is evenly coated. Cornstarch will help create a light and crispy crust. Then dip in a light batter. The batter should be thin enough to coat the pork without being too heavy. A simple batter of cornstarch, flour, and water works perfectly. Heat your oil to around 350 degrees, 175 degrees. Fry once to cook until the pork is lightly golden and cooked through. This first fry is all about cooking the pork. Remove the pork from the oil and let it rest for a few minutes. Then increase the oil temperature to 375 degrees, 190 degrees C, and fry again for crunch. This second fry is what gives the pork its signature crispy texture. While the pork is resting, let's make the sauce the heart and soul of sweet and sour pork. The base of our sauce is rice vinegar, which provides the essential sour element. Next comes sugar to balance the sourness and add sweetness. For that classic sweet and sour pork flavor, we need ketchup, which adds both sweetness and a vibrant red color. A touch of soy adds depth and umami to the sauce. And finally, pineapple juice. This adds a tropical sweetness and helps to thin out the sauce. Combine all the sauce ingredients in a saucepan and bring to a simmer. To thicken the sauce, use a cornstarch slurry, a mixture of cornstarch and water. Slowly drizzle the slurry into the simmering sauce, stirring constantly until it reaches your desired consistency. Now comes the most important part, taste and balance. This is where you make the sauce your own. Adjust the sweet and sour elements until it's perfect for your palate. Add more sugar if it's too sour or more vinegar if it's too sweet. The goal is a harmonious balance of flavors. In a separate wok or pan, quickly stir-fry bell pepper. We're using a mix of red and green bell peppers for color and flavor. Add some onion sliced into wedges, and finally add pineapple chunks to the sauce. Fresh pineapple is best, but canned pineapple works too. Now for the grand finale, add the hot, crispy pork to the sauce. Toss everything together quickly just to coat. The key is to work fast so the pork stays crispy and doesn't let it get soggy. Serve immediately for the ultimate contrast. The hot, crispy pork against the tangy, flavorful sauce. You'll get that satisfying crisp coating, combined with the tender pork, the vibrant veg, and a sauce that's tangy, not cloying. It's a symphony of textures and flavors that will leave you wanting more. This is sweet and sour pork transformed. It's a far cry from the greasy, overly sweet versions you might be used to. Elegant, balanced, and absolutely delicious. A true culinary experience. Forget the fluorescent mess, the artificial colors, the overly sweet sauce, the soggy pork. This is the real deal. Authentic, flavorful, and made with love. Finish strong, serve hot, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's how you do it. That's how you elevate a classic and create something truly special, stunning, a sweet and sour pork that you can be proud of. There you have it, 5 restaurant-quality Chinese dishes, demystified, no more excuses or sad takeout. You've got the techniques and recipes. Get the ingredients, get cooking, and show me what you can do. Drop a comment below. Did you nail the wok hei? Did your beef melt in your mouth? Your journey to better cooking starts now. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Now get in the kitchen and make something amazing.